Okay, hello everyone. Let's just wait for Stanley to show up and then we can start the session. As all of you guys probably know by now, you can get one of these sessions yourself by going to the link at the top of the description. I've gotten a lot of praise for these so far. I'm sure I can be very helpful to you as well. And once this session is over, I will add the link to this video to the description so you can watch through at your own pace, see what you want. So we're just going to have a good time today. It's going to be an hour-long session. And Stanley averages, looks like about 12 or 13 seconds. So should be overall enjoyable. Okay, the average of 12 in this video was a 14.88. So we got 3 viewers now. Hello to everyone watching at home. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Awesome. So, hey Stanley.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. So,
Okay.
I looked at this video. You're right. It's a bit of a weird angle, but I'm getting a bit of feedback through your end. You think you can put in like some headphones or something that might fix it?
I am using earphones right now, but I don't know.
Okay, so I think it's fixed itself, but
Okay.
so no worries. But you were saying?
No, nothing. Okay, so yeah.
So I checked out this angle. It's a little bit strange, but it works well enough. So we'll go with this. And if you want to do this again in the future, like I know not everyone like has a tripod or a GoPro or something like that. But
Yeah.
what one of my students did that seemed to work really well is they had like they had a sibling or a parent basically hold the camera like over their head as if it were a GoPro.
Oh, okay.
And that might, like, if you want to do that again, that's probably a good strategy to take. But let's look at these solves. So how long have you been cubing?
About 8 or 9 months.
Okay, so you're doing really well for that amount of time, actually.
Yeah.
What cube are you using in this video?
The MF3RS2M.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at these solves first at full speed and then in slow motion. Feel free to interrupt me at any time and ask any questions.
Okay.
So let's get going.
Okay.
So this first solve was a 1285.
Okay.
And do you only do white cross?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you're at the point where you could start doing yellow as well if you wanted to, but it's not required.
Okay.
So 1285. So let's look at that at 0.25 speed. So from this angle, it's kind of tough to see the cross, but your solution looks pretty good. That looked pretty quick, pretty efficient.
Okay.
There was a cube rotation in there, but like I can't really tell whether that was super necessary. So then you see this. I think you're seeing this blue and red. We'll see. Yep, you solved that. So let's look at that again. Went back a little bit too far. But you have this pair. You actually ended up doing an extra cube rotation for that, and I can kind of show you. So the blue and red pair goes in the back right here. You can see my cursor, right?
Not real. No.
Let me I can actually fix that. Let me fix that, and I can
Okay.
make you see my cursor. There we go. Now can you see my? Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes in this back right slot.
Yeah.
So, and because this is your first pair, like what you did is you cube rotated, did the solution over this slot, and then cube rotated back. But because all your slots are open, you can just do the solution, the RU prime R prime from this angle without cube rotating.
Okay.
So so you've got the right idea.
Yeah.
Just okay, then you cube rotate, you connect blue and orange. So again, this might be kind of hard to spot from this angle, but with orange in front, you can just do L prime, U prime, L to take out the orange edge, and then you already have a pair set up as well. But what you did isn't too bad.
Yeah, just cube rotated, right?
Yeah, and actually, it would have, because you did this M move insert, it would have been one cube rotation either way. So actually, what you did was completely fine. It's really good that you're doing that M move insert.
Okay.
So then let's see, what pair do you have? Okay, green and red.
Yeah.
Solve that. That's good. And then green and orange. And you solve that with a sledgehammer. Excellent.
Yeah.
So then do your OLL. Again, that's good. And then you have this Y perm. And that's good. You do a few extra U moves in there.
Yeah.
But that's a habit that you can work on fixing. But overall, that was a good solve. Ooh, and that AUF was really nice.
Okay. Yeah.
So you've got a lot of solid fundamentals.
Okay. Thank you.
So this next one is a 1359. Oh, let's take a look at this. And yeah, that's good. That's not a +2. So let's look at that more slowly again. Went back a little bit too far. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what you did here. That looked like a really good cross, actually. So then you cube rotate, you see this green and orange, and then you solve that really well. Like that. That's good. You set it up, cube rotate and insert. So then let's see what pair you do next. You can do blue and red, or yep. And so this is sort of like what I've shown before, but sorry, I went back a little bit too far, but you've got your edge in this slot and then the corner right here. So you can connect them from this angle with U2 L prime UL, and then either cube rotate and insert or do that wide move insert in the back. And that just saves a cube rotation, or it saves 2 rotations if you do the fancy insert.
Okay.
And so that's just a little bit more efficient than rotating and taking it out this way.
Okay.
So then you've got this pair in right here. You rotate for that, sledgehammer insert. That's fine. And then this is actually quite a difficult case, just because you've got, like, this isn't an easy case, and you have it in the back left. So normally Y2s aren't that great, but in that case, I can understand why you would do that.
Yeah.
So then So that was a pretty good way of solving that F2L case. What I probably would have done is if you do this Y2, then you can do U, R, U prime, R prime, which inserts this corner, and then you set up to a double inverse sexy F2L case.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so both of those are good, and it's probably just personal preference, honestly.
Yeah.
So then you've got this OLL. How much of OLL would you say you know?
I'll say like 30 to 40, I think.
Okay, that's pretty good. So if you're trying to learn full OLL, this is a pretty easy case that you can learn, but it's not too bad that you don't know it. So then you've got this T case, and do you know corner recognition for?
No.
So it's kind of tough to explain with this, but basically I can tell based on your corners that you're going to get an edge only PLL, so a U perm, a Z perm, an H perm, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And actually, like I can tell you're going to get a counterclockwise U perm. So you get that. You do your U perm, and you recognize that all quickly. So again, you have a lot of good fundamentals. I'd say the one main thing that you should work on is cube rotating a little bit less.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was solve number 2. Then this was a 16.24.
Yeah, I think I did a couple things wrong here and there.
Yeah, we'll check. So didn't start the timer, so you restart. Okay. So I can tell like most of the problem was again the cube rotations. So
yeah.
the first time you just didn't start the timer, that's fine. You redo it. So then solve cross. Let's see, what pair do you have here? Doesn't look like there's anything easy. Okay, there's like blue and red, green and orange. You solve green and orange. That was good. You lock up a little bit on that insert. Then you've got blue and red here. That was good. And then you've actually got 2 easy pairs here. You can insert this pair right here with F moves if you want, or cube rotate. I'm not sure if you would have noticed that. And then this green and red is also pretty easy. Oh, wait, never mind. I saw blue and orange wrong. That wasn't actually a pair, but
yeah, I think I did like a Y3.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again. Yeah, that's too much cube rotating. And if you look back, so you insert that, you're inserting blue and red now. So you've got your blue and red edge here, or your green and red edge here, your green and red corner here. You actually don't have to cube rotate for this.
Oh, yeah, right.
You can do like LU L prime and set that up, or you can do U R U prime R prime and set it up. In general, do you think like you have an issue with solving pairs in the back or anything like that?
I think I just don't recognize it like fast enough because I think I'm just spamming TPS.
Yeah, and I can kind of see that. Like if you don't see something quick enough, you just cube rotate to spot something.
Yeah.
Like that's a habit that you want to try and get rid of because it can lead to a lot of stuff like that. So then you do a lot of extra U moves, then you spot this pair. But when you do solve it, you solve it correctly. It's just there's like a lot of extra pauses and cube rotations and U moves and stuff. So then you get an easy OLL and an A perm. So in general, your last layer is good. It's just the issues with the cube rotations.
Yeah.
So then you've got a 1555. Sorry, let me just restart this. So and again, it kind of seems like the main thing that's holding you back on these solves is the cube rotating, and we can check later on some of your better solves. I'm willing to bet that on the really good solves, you didn't cube rotate hardly at all.
Okay.
So let's check this one. This looks like a kind of difficult cross, actually.
Yeah.
So then you got this blue and orange, and you spot that. Let's see if that's what you're actually doing. Okay, and then you solve that. But again, and this is more of a knowledge thing than not seeing anything. From this angle, you can just do like R prime U R and connect them. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Instead of cube rotating. Same thing here. Actually, your green and red edge is in the slot here, and your green and red corner is here. So you could do U2 LUL prime.
Okay.
So you do essentially the same thing. You just did a Y2 rotation for it.
Yeah.
Which proves to me that, yeah, you have the knowledge. It's just applying it when you have stuff in the back. So then you solve the green and orange pair, and that was really good. And then a few extra... Okay. Yep, then you did a good job of correcting yourself there. Unfortunately, you get a dot OLL here.
Yeah.
There is like an advanced algorithm you can do to orient some edges there, but it's not that important. So then you flip your edges, and you get a pie case. And then a J perm. And you could start doing like double flicks for the U2s on that J perm, but it's not a huge thing.
Yeah.
So now, next here we can test that theory because you got an 1113.
Yeah.
We can see if less cube rotations really make the difference.
喂妈，我现在要下去了，我整理一下东西就下去了。好，拜拜。
Okay, there was 11.
Have you seen my backpack?
So let's check this out.
The cross was pretty easy.
Yeah, it looks like it. It also looks like you're not using a lot of your inspection.
Oh.
Like, that's not a huge problem, but it can help you in the future. So your first pair was good. So then you're solving green and red. If we go back a little bit, so you solve that. You don't have to cube rotate for that green and orange, but we've gone over that case before. Then you've got this green and red. And again, you don't really have to cube rotate for it because you have a lot of open slots. You can just do a U and then LU to L prime to set this up without cube rotating. And so I think that issue is awareness of like which F2L slots are open.
Yeah.
So then you spotted that quickly though, and so that's why your F2L is going fast. And then you spot this pair. Extra you move in there, but you solve that. And then you've got an easy last pair. So that was actually really fast, really nice F2L. All your cases just came together, and then you got all your edges oriented. So you do this OLL, that was good. And then your R perm. So yeah, I think that's actually how it works. On this solve, you had less cube rotations, and so that's why this one was the fastest solve in your average.
Okay.
So then you've got 14.63.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that solve. So we're through 5 solves now. Do you have any questions or anything?
No.
Okay.
It's just like less cube rotation and spawning spell pairs, right?
Yeah, the cube rotations are the big thing. And towards the end, I'll go over sort of what techniques I think you can use to practice that.
Do you think I should slow down my turning like a little bit?
When you start learning look ahead, yes, and you're about at the point where that can be helpful.
Yeah.
But just like if you're not going to be looking ahead, then your turning speed is fine.
Oh, okay.
So then let's see this. You messed up your cross on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
So then let's take a look at this. So you start with, it looks a lot like you're sort of doing your cross on front, sort of like this, which actually that's pretty good. It's not really a problem.
Yeah.
Like it might hold you back a little bit when you start like trying to spot your first pair in inspection, but it's not that much of a problem now. So you've got like 2 main options for your first pair. You can do this blue and orange or this blue and red.
Yeah.
So you do blue and orange, but unfortunately you solve that into the wrong slot.
Yeah.
So then do you fix that? No, you solve green and orange, which was set up, and then you spot that you need to fix that, and you fix that. So that mistake didn't hold you back too much, but that's because you got a bit lucky.
Okay.
But like you got a bit lucky that green and orange pair was already solved. But like everybody makes mistakes like that every once in a while. It's not a huge deal. So then so you've got the same case twice in the back. So you rotate. So if we go back a little bit, you need to solve this blue and orange pair into this slot. So there are two ways you can do that. You can do what you did and cube rotate to the right and insert this into the front right slot.
Yeah.
Or you can cube rotate to the left and solve this into the back left slot.
Oh, and then
And
the front.
so,
Yeah.
and can you see why that's the better decision?
Yeah, because the I think the front and the back, one of those slots will be empty and it's easier to execute.
So when you cube rotate, so red is on front, cube rotate to the left and insert this pair into the back left, then you've got both of these F2L pairs already in the front.
Yeah.
But when you cube rotate like this,
it's at the back.
You've got them at the back, and then you did a Y2 rotation. So that's also like a case of awareness, and that when you can start noticing stuff like that and cube rotating in a specific direction, that can be really helpful. So at this point, you spotted your cross, or at this point you spotted it earlier and now just fixed it. So you fixed that. That's good. Then solve your OLL. And actually, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but you solve your corners as well with that algorithm in that case. And then you get a U-perm. And then you get a 14. So overall, besides that one thing with which direction to cube rotate and the cross, that was pretty good.
I think I have a little problem with the AUF.
Yeah, on that solve, there was a bit of a problem. I'm not sure if that's like a common... do you think that's a common thing for you?
I think sometimes, maybe because it might be in a weird position to do like a AUF after a PLO.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes. What I recommend doing for AUF is while you're recognizing your PLL, also recognize the AUF so that right after you're done with PLL, you know exactly what moves you have to do.
Okay.
And that's easy to recognize for like U perms, for A perms, for T perm, for stuff like that. But then for some of the G perms, the Z perm, the R perms, and the J perms, that can be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not too difficult, and I've got a video that I can send you a link to after the session that can help with that.
Okay.
So then you got a 14.003. And I should have asked this at the beginning, but would you say like this average of 12 was 1488? Would you say that's about what you average?
No, it's I averaged out 13. I messed up a couple times in the middle.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. Actually, that might be more helpful here because that lets me see like the mistakes that you make, and that shows me more of what you need to fix than better solves.
Yeah.
So this looks like a pretty easy cross. Let's see. Okay, that was pretty fast. On that one, you turned really fast.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this. So let's actually take like a closer look at your cross solution here. Not so it seems like you planned out this one a lot more than it seems like you did on some of your other solves.
Yeah, it looks kind of easy, but it's like there's a couple things that's not right.
Yeah, so if we look at this again, so you start off really well. You do L prime, FL, FL, F2 to solve blue and red. Then you cube rotate, unfortunately, but you got orange right here and green right here. So with red on front, you could just do D, L to put down orange, and then just a B prime to put down green, and align everything with D prime. But in this case, unfortunately, you did a few more moves and did those like one at a time. So in general, a good thing to work on is being able to solve cross edges in ways in like pairs or combinations, and then like know how one cross edge will set up another.
Okay.
So then let's see what your first pair is. I actually don't. Okay, so you've got this green and red situation. We've gone over stuff like that before. Ooh, actually, that's a bit different because it's in the back. So same thing, you could have taken it out in a different way. But because you did that insert, it's still good. And you got this pair, or actually no. What pair were you doing there? Let's see. You're doing blue and orange. So two things here. So I went back a little bit too far, but you've already got this blue and red pair, and that's what I think you should have done in that situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I can understand how you wouldn't spot that. Then this is a difficult F2L case, so I can kind of understand why you did a Y2 for it. But then there's a much better solution, which is you start by doing an R prime, U prime, R to move this blue and orange corner up to here.
Yeah.
And then you solve the pair with R, U, R2, U prime, R.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit better. In this case, what you did actually preserves your blue and red pair, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
When you cube actually no, you solve green and orange first. That's a good choice because you don't have to cube rotate, and then you go straight into blue and red. So that was fine. Then you do your 2-look OLL. And one thing that you do particularly well is that you, like when you do 2-look OLL, you already know what algorithm you're going to have to do to after you orient your edges. So that makes your recognition pretty good. And then you do this Y perm, and you have no AUF. So overall, the cross was a little bit strange, and then there was some stuff with cube rotations and choosing the pair, but overall that was a pretty good solve. Okay, next solve is 15.74. Okay, this looks like another pretty easy case. Let's. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a really good solve, and then you got an end perm at the end.
Yeah.
That's just how it happens sometimes. But I was looking at this, looking at this scramble and thinking about how I would do cross.
Yeah.
So you start off with the FL2 for green. Basically, so FL2 for green and red, D prime R prime to solve blue, and then F prime DL or F prime D R prime to solve orange. So basically that was a really good cross. That was really efficient. That was I'd say that was your best cross so far in the average.
Yeah, but I think I can do better finger tricks because it was a little.
Yeah, there was some lockup kind of stuff, but once if the efficiency is there, then you can work on lockups and stuff whenever. I think that was really good. So then you solve that. I don't see any really easy pairs here. Let's see what you did. Okay, you're doing green and red. Let's see what the solution was for that. I went back a bit too far, but I don't really see the green and red corner. Okay, it was in that slot. So you connect it and then solve it. That was good. And then that sets up your green and orange pair, and you spot that. And while you're doing that, let's see, you do from here. You solve that blue and orange pair really well, and that was a good example of not cube rotating for that case. That was good. Then you cube rotate for this, and you solve that. And I think that was your best cross in F2L in so far in this entire average. You just got especially unlucky with your last layer because you got not only a dot OLL, but you got an N perm after that.
Yeah.
So I'd say ignore the fact that this was a 15. I'd say as far as good fundamentals go, this was your best solve in the average, or at least so far. We'll see what happens after this. So that was 15.7, and then your next solve is a 1704.
I messed up the next two solves in this.
Yeah. And is that why they're 17s?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what you did, and then we can talk about it and figure it out. So let's watch this. Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean there. So let's take a look at that. The cross looks pretty simple.
Yeah.
Let's see what you did here. So you solve those two pieces easily. And then just finish off with your red edge. And then right away, you see this green and red pair. And you're starting to solve. You solved that correctly, except you messed up on the execution a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that was a bit unfortunate, but then you caught yourself and you fixed that. So you fixed that pretty well. And then you've got this pair, your green and orange setup. I'm curious, did you spot that? Yes, you did, but unfortunately, you did a Y2 cube rotation for it instead of inserting it into the back.
Okay.
So, like, again, just avoiding cube rotations, you can insert into the back more. So then these last two pairs are really where things sort of got nasty. So I'm not sure where your corners are, but I can see both of the edges. So I think both of the corners are in slots. Yep. So then you cube rotate, and then you can just connect this with U prime R prime and insert it into the back. And or let's see, or you did R prime and solved them like that. That's just as good. So you did that. Unfortunately, you did R prime U2R. So
Yeah.
if I'm correct about this, I think that this is the blue and orange edge. So you could be really fancy here and solve this blue and orange pair with U prime, R prime, and then insert this. Like, and that would be really fancy, but I don't expect you to do that. So you just insert that, that's fine. And then you've got this pair, which you cube rotate for and solve. But actually, you didn't have to cube rotate for it, and I can kind of show you how. So I know that, like, when you're first learning F2L, in a case like this, they always teach you to, like, drop down the corner to line it up. But what you can do in this case is do U prime, R prime. So you're moving over the edge, and that will set them up.
Oh.
So you can do, for a case like this, you can do U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, and that will solve that pair without cube rotating.
Okay.
And so that's just something that's good to know. So then you solve that pair, you do your 2-look OLL, and yet again, you get your corners solved and you get a U perm. And with that, U perm was good. And then you got a 17. So your last layer was good. F2L was a bit shaky. You made some mistakes with your execution mainly.
Yeah, and then this next one was
This next one is 1795, which is, yeah, your worst solve in the average. So we'll take a look at how it went. So do you think you made, like, similar mistakes on this one, or?
I think it's just the cube rotation that's costing me.
Yeah. So do you think that's what happened on this solve?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look.
Because I think with my TPS, I can get faster.
Yeah, and I can. Oh, and that's. Ouch. That was rough at the end there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, you have very fast TPS. If you can like control that completely, and then have a little bit more efficiency, then yeah, you can get a lot faster with your kind of TP. So yeah, I definitely saw the cube rotations on this solve, and then that one thing at the end with the AUF. So let's take a look at this. Okay, that was a good cross. And then let's see what pair you did. I don't see any great options. So yeah, that leads to you doing a lot of cube rotations. Like, yeah, there aren't any great options, but that doesn't like mean that you should cube rotate this much to look for something. I recommend just waiting and looking without doing any moves before doing anything, so it doesn't lead to you doing a lot of cube rotations and extra U moves.
Okay.
That's sort of a general tip for that kind of thing. We'll see what you did. Okay, so you end up doing a sledgehammer and connecting green and orange. Then you solve that. And then that connects blue and red. Let's see if you spot that. And yes, you do. That's good. Q rotate. Let's see what you do now. You do double sexy here. So after that big pause before your first pair, it seems like you're doing pretty well. Everything is sort of setting up easily. So that was 3 good pairs. And then a few extra cube rotations. So I can... So there was some extra cube rotations on that last pair, and then the way you're solving it is going to set up so you get a dot OLL. And I can show you a way to sort of fix that. So let's go back a little bit. I keep going back too far. It's difficult when you're at 0.25, but you solve that. Solve blue and red, solve blue and orange. And again, this is, in general, it's a really bad F2L case because your edge is flipped in its slot and it's in the back left.
Yeah.
Oops, So what you can do here, instead of taking out this edge with RUR prime, if you take it out with F prime, U prime, S, that will keep your corner right here, and it will have red up right here. So then you can just do U prime, RUR prime.
Okay.
And that's sort of the general way to solve pairs where the edge is flipped in its slot. That's something to keep an eye out for. And that will say, in that case, that would have saved you from getting a dot OLL as well. So then you solve that. And this time you actually did know the OLL, or was that an accident?
I did know this one.
Okay, that's good. That was good. You know that. And then you get a G perm, I believe. Yep. That was a pretty good execution. Just this last D prime that caught you. So then you want to fix that with, and that's rough. That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you got that. So overall, that was still a pretty good solve. It's just there was the cube rotations at the beginning, that last pair, and then the mistake on that last D prime. Other than that wasn't quite as bad of a solve as the time would have you think. So then you've got 2 more solves. The first, and they're both 14.58. So here's the first one, 14.587. And I know that you had a G perm there. Did you do the wide move algorithm or the RUD one?
I think I did the RUD one.
I don't know the RUD one for that G perm, but if it works for you, then that's fine. But let's see. Let's see what you did here. So you solve those 2. A little bit locky, but that was pretty good. You do a good job of planning out your entire cross and making it okay as far as efficiency goes. So then you're solving blue and red, or green and red, actually.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. You probably could have done that with less cube rotations, but I'm not exactly sure like how. So then you've actually got two good options here. You've got this blue and red, and then you've got blue and orange. So then you end up doing blue and red. That was all right. And then it sets up your blue and orange to be really easy. It's just unfortunate that you did a Y2 cube rotation for it instead of just solving it from that angle. And then I think, yeah, green and orange is in its slot. So there, if we go back, you did like a lot of extra U moves for it.
Yeah, because sometimes I just want to keep like the TPS up and just do random U moves.
I know why you think that, but that's not helping you. It's making it harder to spot what you need to do if everything's still moving. So if you look here, so you do U prime, U, and then you finally spot that pair. And so that's just a lot of extra moves, probably a lot of extra time as well. So you do this fat anti-soon algorithm, but this is actually the mirror of that case. If you do like the lefty version, if you do a U prime from this angle and then do the lefty version of fat anti-soon, then that would solve this OLL instead of doing the regular anti-soon afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a slightly better algorithm. And then you do this.
Oh, no. Oh, it was this GPIM. I thought it was the other one.
Okay, so you do that G-perm.
Yep.
That was pretty good. And then that 14 there.
Yeah.
And then we've got one more solve. We got another 1458.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm starting to hear myself through your thing again. Do you think that's okay? Never mind. There. So we'll look at this and then we'll go over sort of my recommendation.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna put in headphones. Bit.
Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I've got my headphones in now.
Okay.
Okay, I think that fixed the problem. So here we go. Okay, this one's a bit harder to see because it's not quite in frame, but we'll do our best.
Okay.
Okay, this cross doesn't look too great. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I think I moved out of the frame a little.
Yeah, so it's hard to see what exactly you did. I think that's all right. Then you've got this easy green and red pair. Let's see, did you spot that? Not quite. So you saw this blue and orange first. That's all right. Then you cube rotate, and then you keep looking. So then you do this green, orange, and that's actually pretty smart to do that kind of thing, and then do the M move insert. That was pretty good. So then you saw blue and red, and that was good. And then that pair was good. So then you got this OLL, and I'm not sure if I like this algorithm that you have, where you do a different OLL and then you do anti-soon.
No, because there's a other one that's similar to it. I think I just recognized it wrong.
Oh, so that was just a recognition mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So then you do that, and then you've got this U-perm. So again, your last layer was pretty good. So overall, it seems like you're doing pretty well. You're on the right track. So,
Yep.
The main thing that we've said a lot of times is just the cube rotations.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something that you should prioritize.
Okay.
Yeah. There's basically 2 reasons that you're cube rotating. That's in some cases that you think you have to cube rotate for a case, but you don't actually have to. And then sometimes you'll cube rotate just to look for pieces.
Oh yeah.
So with when it comes to cube rotating to look for pieces, what you can do is do untimed solves, and in between each F2L pair, don't let yourself move or turn or cube rotate until you spot a pair. And that sort of trains you to just wait and to look for stuff instead of cube rotating a bunch.
Yeah.
And then that will, as you get better at looking ahead and stuff, that will help with that kind of thing as well, because you won't have to look for pieces as much anyway.
Okay.
So that's how I practice that. And then with the F2L cases, a lot of what it is it looks like you don't have full confidence with inserting a lot of them into the back.
Yeah.
So that's something that's worth practicing. Again, just trying to cube rotate as little as possible during untimed solves.
Okay.
So that's how I'd work on that. Then you lock up a little bit. That's just something that you're going to get better at with time. Other than that, I think you're doing really well. Your efficiency's good. Your last layer is really good. It's just the cube rotations.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. So I think that's all you need to work on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on here.
Brody.
Yeah.
Do you mind turning on your camera? Is it fine if I take a photo with you?
Sure. Just one second. Let me.
Yeah. Is it fine if I post it on Instagram?
Yeah. Just let me. Okay.
Okay.
Is that good?
3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll send a recording of this to you afterwards. And if you have any questions or anything, you know how to contact me.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.